Roblox is a good place to make games. It's easy to learn, has a massive community of developers to help you, and is very popular. You may be wanting to make a game yourself, but you're just a little bit confused as to where to begin. Or maybe the prospect of developing is simply too daunting for you. Whatever situation you're in, I'm sure this video can help you. How to start a Roblox game. This part of development can be the hardest, starting the game in the first place. If you haven't made a game before, I recommend finding a tutorial series to help you, so that your game is broken down into simple YouTube videos and as such doesn't feel that intimidating. But once you begin this process, it suddenly gets a lot easier. Knowing where to start is important, but even more important is knowing how to come up with a game idea. Let's face it, you're never going to come up with a completely original idea. With so many people in the world, past or present, you will see that your idea has probably been thought up a million times already, but you might just be the first one to act upon that idea. This is why I say you shouldn't be scared to steal other game ideas. But when I say steal, I don't mean rip off another game, more like take some inspiration from them. Even just the basic gameplay with whatever idea you have on top would be enough to be original. But what if you don't have any ideas at all? If you're struggling to come up with any ideas, look at other games that are in the genre you want your game to be in and see what they're doing. Take notes, be inspired, and most importantly make sure that you aren't just creating a clone of an existing game. Now that you hopefully have an idea, you're ready to start developing your game, but there's a couple more things you need to know, like some common beginner mistakes. There are some mistakes you might make that you should know about, so you're able to spot them and fix them in advance. Number 1, not asking for help. All too often, new developers will go to ask for help on the dev forum, but then realize that they can't comment on any posts yet, as you need to have read a certain amount of posts before you can create them. This leads to them trying to figure out their problems on their own, which isn't a bad thing by the way, actually the exact opposite. But sometimes you just need some help, as a problem that seems too hard to fix could result in you irreversibly ruining code that was actually working perfectly fine. Number 2, ignoring the toolbox. Sometimes using other people's free assets can feel like you're cheating on game development just a little bit, but the toolbox is actually an extremely good place to find little things that you can add to your game to improve it, and you can reverse engineer the scripts you find there to figure out how they work, which will further improve your coding skills. Just be careful not to add a virus into your game. Number 3, not watching a lot of tutorials. This might seem a little bit unnecessary sometimes, but you should be trying to widen your skill set every day, as you might learn something that completely changes your game and makes it 10 times better. I'll leave a list of development YouTubers in the description if you want to watch them. Their videos have really helped me to get where I am. Number 4, inviting friends to join you. This might seem a bit harsh, but you should not invite friends to join you as you start developing. I understand how exciting the prospect of making a game with your best buds sounds, but I know from personal experience that most people will dip out of the game in no time. Not to mention that if you fall out with them, they might try to claim some kind of ownership over some part of the game, leading to a series of terrible and stressful problems that just aren't worth it. But the biggest mistake you can make is to only focus on one project. This might seem a little bit hypocritical, as I myself have only finished one game, but this is an important tip if you want to improve your skills as quickly as possible. Working on multiple games forces you to learn code that you otherwise might have found irrelevant if you worked on one game, or it might force you to improve at UI or sound design. Now I know how painful the idea of not focusing on your massive project sounds to you, but trust me on this, it will help you in the long run. Not to mention that by the time you're ready to focus on your big project, you now have a large portfolio of games that could spark someone's interest and blow up. So in conclusion, what should you do to get started making a Roblox game? First, choose the type of game you want to make, and then find a tutorial series on it. Then you need to remember to watch lots and lots of development tutorials, and remember to ask for help. Don't invite friends to join you, at least for your first few projects, and use free assets as you need them. But most importantly, make a ton of small projects, and then once you've improved your skills to a certain level, focus on one big project. Sounds pretty simple. Yeah, I'm sure it won't be. Developing is hard, and it is vital that you know that, as if you don't, you'll plunge yourself off of the deep end and get stuck pretty quickly. Thank you for sticking around till the end of the video. If you want to find out how an exploiter could hack your game, or watch my game development story to learn what it's like to create a Roblox game, then click one of these 2 videos, and maybe click the like button while you're there. Geek out!